Okay, this is the new Adafruit CircuitPython touchscreen library. It allows you to do lots of neat things like make touchscreen controllers for things like home automation or movie props or TV props. This is a L-core interface for Star Trek, and it's to make a little tricorder. Fascinating. Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
I'm half Falcon. It's true.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask an Engineer. It is so cold out. Why go outside? Stay indoors, make yourself a cup of hot chocolate, and watch the next hour of Maker, Joy, and Wonder as we deliver you all the news, new products, events, CircuitPython excitement. Maybe it's not out yet, don't ask. And we're also going to give away a prize at the end. Yep, that's right. It's Ask Engineer, broadcasting live from the Adafruit factory. It's me, Lady Ada, with you, Mr. Lady Ada. Yep. What's on tonight's show, Mr. Lady Ada?
On tonight's show, the code is Tricolor, 10% off in the Adafruit store, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, 10% off everything except for AdaBox and gift certificates. Supports us, an open source hardware company here in New York City. I can prove it because there's sirens outside.
Yeah, I know.
That's the coal police.
Woo!
Brr. It supports us and all the people that you know and love in Discord and on our blog and on our site, and ship the products, make the products, code the products, and come up with all this cool stuff. So when you purchase something, use a code. It supports Adafruit, a loan-free, venture capital-free, independent, open-source hardware company,
with
manufacturing
thousands of open
in the
source
USA.
libraries.
Yeah.
Thousands of open source libraries and drivers and examples and
Yep.
tutorials.
Show and tell, people around the world showing and sharing their project. Pack the mailbag will stop by, read your letters and more to us. Python on hardware news. Oh my gosh, it is a
Chonky.
week. It is a week of Python on hardware. There's a lot, and we're gonna go over all of it. Time travel, look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, and engineers, and more. Some current news. Got some jobs from the Adafruit jobs board. Some made in New York City factory footage. Some 3D videos. Some new products. Lots of top secret. We'll answer your questions. We do that on Discord, where we are over 10,000 right now. Go to adafruit.it/Discord. We'll do a trivia question at the end and give something away. All that and more on, you guessed it,
Dun dun dun!
Ask an Engineer.
That's right.
Okay, Lady Ada.
Ooh,
Well, let's.
I'm excited.
Yeah, the code, and we'll tell you why it's tricolor later. It doesn't matter if you know why the code is tricolor right
10%
now.
off.
You can just use it. We still have some things left for our freebies. We will run out of some things, but for right now, these are the freebies.
Yeah, we're running low on some magazines. We wanted to give away some of the really cool magazines we've got. So if you wanted a free magazine to a $10 value with your order, free, then place your order now. But if you order $99 or more, you get a free Proto half-size breadboard. It's shaped just like a half-size solderless breadboard, so when your project is done and ready to go, you can solder it onto this board to make it nice and permanent. It's got gold-plated pads and a lovely silk screen to make transfer easy. $149 or more. Again, we have a choice of, I think we have now 3 different magazines. I think we sold out of 2600. People love 2600, but we got the rest of the magazines available. Free with your order of over $149. We'll give you a different one each time. If you order $199 or more, you'll get free UPS ground shipping in the continental United States. That's high-quality trackable shipping from that little UPS truck. It will drive to your home. And at $299 or more, you'll get a free Circuit Playground Express, our premier all-in-one dev board for learning microcontrollers and programming. You can code it in MakeCode from Microsoft, Adafruit Circuit Python. You can use now EduBlocks, microblocks to different block-based programming systems. You can use Arduino. You can use CS, code.org, CS Discoveries. So you have like 6 or 7 different ways of programming this board with all the LEDs, lights, buttons, switches, touch sensors, and all the goodies. And we have a bunch of new Circuit Playground Express guides this week as well. So place an order $300 worth of stuff, and then you can follow along.
Okay, for shipping options, UPS Ground, best in the USA, trackable, reliable shipping. Postal, if you're okay waiting a bit. Also, if you go to the Postal Service site right now, they have postponed service in some areas where it's too cold for humans. So just know that if you have packages en route to you from Adafruit, there will be delays into certain areas. Check the postal site.
Because it's so cold that you don't want them to be outside. They would
Yeah.
freeze to death. That would be sad.
And DHL, that's for international. We're about to even add more countries. So if you want to get an international order, DHL is where it's at. Same day delivery in New York City. If you order before 11 a.m. and it's a zip code in Manhattan that we can get it to, we do same day shipping. Lady Ada, we have people around the world showing and sharing their project
Yes, we do.
every week.
Is
Somebody,
the show and tell?
yeah, the longest running, only live show and tell on the internet. We do it every
That's
single week. What was on the show and tell, and who showed up and what?
Well,
what
we
they shared?
had a bunch of Adafruit folks come by. I mean, January is just kicking off to an incredible start. So much stuff's going on. JP has been working on some Cartoon Network projects. We're doing a partnership with Cartoon Network and MakeCode to use Adafruit Circuit Playground Express to build fun projects to celebrate. There's a new Steven Universe movie out, but also people just love watching Steven Universe on TV. And we also got the Bear Bears, and we've got Powerpuff Girls. So we've been doing projects. Cartoon Network has been gifting us some assets, like some imagery and drawings and graphics, so we can integrate them into our projects to make them look amazing. So this week's project, JP did palm gems from Garnet and Steven Universe. Character has gems on her hands. You can have your own gems. So you can cosplay a Garnet or just have fun. And it even plays a theme song when you press a button, because there's a buzzer built into the Circuit Playground Express. And also he showed off a gift from C. Grover, who gave him a PCB art piece with a backlit LED. So thanks, C. Grover, for that. It looked cool. Erin likewise had a Cartoon Network project. She made a Valentine box. After you eat the chocolate in your Valentine box, what are you going to do with it? We'll make a Valentine with the Powerpuff Girls and some copper tape. It's a really easy crafting project. You can touch the different hearts to make the Circuit Playground Express light up the same color as the eyes and costume of each of the Powerpuff Girls. Noah and Pedro came by to show off this week's project. We showed a little preview of it when we started. It's a Mac-A-Wing. It's a Halloween that displays different startup screens from Apple and Mac computers throughout history, and also plays the startup sound. So it's like a chunky piece of Apple nostalgia. Also, they showed off next week's project, which is a shield, and I totally forget which character's shield it was. Check out, it's a foam cosplay crafting project with the Circuit Playground Express as a lighting for the shield. Scott, who's working on display and graphics for Circuit Python, demoed the terminal REPL. So if you have a display attached to a Circuit Python board, you can have the terminal or the REPL display onto like the display itself. So instead of like appearing in a serial port, it's actually on a graphic screen. So it can give you feedback. You can just have it like print out stuff. Kind of like an interesting thing that interpreted languages can do is like you can have an error and have it display. Like even though it's crashed, it's not like fully crashed. Like it's only the interpreted part that's crashed, not the runtime. Kattni made her first PCB, so she showed it off. It was the VCNL 4040. It's a proximity and light sensor. So she learned some EagleCAD. She made some parts this week and routed her first PCB. We're going to send it off. It's going to say made by Kattni on the back. Maybe we'll make it in purple if we can. And that will be on Kattni's first board. So she's picking up all sorts of new skills and wanted to share them with people. And she was both happy and horrified, having gone through the process of trying to extract data from a data sheet and turn it into CAD, a PCB CAD file, which is always fun. TG Techie, Commander Techie, came by and showed off a tricorder demo. running CircuitPython. It's got graphics, it's got like sensors. It's a real tricorder running CircuitPython. So it's a big project that they're working on. Aiden visited again. Haven't seen Aiden in a while, so it's good to see him. He's working on a 3D printed robot with a feather Bluetooth and some TT motors and a forklift with solenoids. And right now I can pick things up, but I can't put them down, but that's okay. We'll work on it. And then he wants to make a swarm bot, a forklift bots that maybe lift things. Maybe they don't put them down. Steve Scott came by and just regaled us with some tales about Z machines and CPMs. There's a new guide from DSLs on how to write a run a CPM emulator on one of our M4 boards. So he was like, I'm going to do that. And he also said, it's really cold where he's at. It's like so cold that he has to like watch his pipes. So that was what we had.
Okay. All participants on the show and tell get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker, unless they're working on a project and we're going to have them beta test some hardware, which is some of the participants this week. As part of our Adafruit live series shows, we have live videos that we do every single week. JP's show is tomorrow. Be sure to watch it. Here are some previews and more of some of the things he showed or will be showing. Okay, pack the mailbag. Every week we read these emails and more to our entire team. In a meeting we call State of the Fruit, but we also read them here. Couldn't find anywhere to simply comment and say thanks for the products and services you provide. I've done a lot of things in my life: pilot, structural, welder, sculpture, writer, Linux enthusiast, but never was an electronics tinker or maker, though I wanted to be. Thanks to you, I can be. And I've looked all around the wide web and can find the bits and pieces for less money, but none of those options support what you're doing, so I'll stick with you. So thanks, and here's to the continued success. Thank you.
Yay.
All right, don't forget we're on Discord, adafruit.it/Discord. We have a bunch of MakeCode stuff going on. So
Ooh, indeed.
Yeah, so Cartoon Network, Microsoft MakeCode, and Adafruit teamed up. And basically we're allowed to do lots of stuff with wonderful characters and universes, like Steven Universe, in the Cartoon Network's world of characters and stories and more. And we have a couple videos. The first one I wanted to show is the Pearl Sword.
Yeah.
And then we'll skip over to the Powerpuff Valentine.
Yes.
So a lot of times you have to always ask yourself, well, what'll spark a young person's imagination? And sometimes it's something they see or know. It's like, oh, I like that cartoon, I like that story, I like that character. I want to do something to be part of that. And this is a really good way. So they can make their own projects to use the Circuit Playground.
It's not just for kids. Sometimes adults want
to.
No,
adults do this all the time. Yeah. No, Steven Universe has a really big following. They have a movie coming out this fall.
That's right.
So that'll be neat to see all these projects throughout the year, and then the movie come out in the fall. I think people will be dressed up and be doing lots of things with code that they've written.
Yes.
For this. So take it away, Pedro, and then one from Aaron.
Hey, what's up, folks? In this project, we're building Pearl's gem weapon from Steven Universe. We made Pearl's gem wand so it lights up and makes sound effects when you swing it around. You too can build your own. Get the parts to build this project. Links are in the description. To build this project, all you'll need are some poster boards and art supplies. Use Microsoft MakeCode and Adafruit Circuit Playground Express to learn how to program. Drag and drop code blocks to develop interactive LED animations. Download our free templates and print them out for building the parts of the wand. You can also use a vinyl cutter to speed this up. Trace the template onto foam board and cut out the shapes with a hobby knife. These are layered together to form the blade. Use hot glue to bond the pieces together and create a sturdy frame. The Circuit Playground Express is powered by a AAA battery pack. The NeoPixel LED strip has alligator clips, so no soldering necessary. Make cutouts at the end for the LED strip so it can fit inside the blade. To make the handle and pommel, use paper towel rolls or make your own with cereal boxes. The battery pack and circuit board are press-fitted into the tube. The LED strip wiring can go through the handle. Insert the framing of the blade through the handle and install the cover over the blade. You can cut out these little squares for securing the blade to the handle. These little shims will create a snug fit so the blade stays in place. Use glue stick to install the decals. The pieces to build the pommel are made from cardstock. Wrap them around to form these little cylinders that can slide onto the tube. You can make the tip and cap out of leftover scraps of foam board. The two slot together and are press fitted into the pommel. This really glows nicely with the LEDs. And now you can add all the details you want and share your creations with the universe. We hope you have fun building, crafting, and making your own props. You can make cool stuff to sharpen your skills, just don't give up. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more Steven Universe projects from Adafruit.
Power up your candy box with Circuit Playground. Make some room in the box for the batteries. It's okay to eat one. Bubbles, Buttercup, and Blossom will keep the rest of the candy safe. Press reset and download the code. Make a hole for the power to come through. Turn it on and off with the switch on the battery case. Cut out a pretty shape. Copper tape makes the power flow, and capacitive touch makes the magic work. You can eat one more. You worked hard. See the full build tutorial on the Adafruit Learning System. And
Okay, and every single week on the JP Show, we have a Make Code Minute, and we're going to play a highlight from that from the
We're doing
previous week.
Make Code Arcade, which is their new arcading platform. We have a demo actually later we can show
Yeah,
you.
we're going to show that live
But
on hardware.
Make Code does a lot. Now you can make games.
Well, let's have a look at creating sprites inside of Make Code Arcade. If you're not familiar with sprites, sprite is a term used in the early days of game graphics to describe something that was a graphic that was moving around on screen separate from the screen buffer of the background. For example, on the Atari 2600, the spec said you could have 2 players, 2 missiles, and a ball. So there were 5 objects that could move around on the screen. So in our case now, we just describe, we use sprite to describe kind of anything that you create that isn't the background in the game. You can see here this is arcade.makecode.com. What I have is an Adabot head here, which is my character. And the way I've created that is I've got an on-start loop, and then I went to sprites and said, bring in this one, which is the create, set my sprite to sprite, and then we have a little graphic area and of a certain kind. So we'll get into some of that in more detail, but first of all, let's just take a look at this sprite editor. So one of the things that you can do is select from a gallery of pre-made sprites, or you can go ahead and design your own. So I created an Adabot here, and you can see the types of controls we have are really simple. We have a limited little color palette here. Let's go ahead and make a purple Adabot. So I'm going to use this purple color, and I'm going to use a paint bucket tool, and that lets me just flood fill in an area with a color. I could switch over to the pencil and draw in these antennas here. And how about some gold teeth? So I can grab a bigger brush, and now this gives me, that's what we want, we want that gold tooth. So now that I'm done, I simply hit X to close it, and you'll see after a moment it's going to update the screen here, and we will have our new purple Adabot. Now, if you take a look at the overhead here, I've got this is a Feather M4 and a little TFT screen on a breadboard, and I've also got some buttons there. So now I can move my sprite around. I haven't updated it to that gold tooth version, but this is the one that I had loaded on there. And we will talk in the future about moving sprites around, but that is the most basic element of the game, which is the game sprite, and that's how you can create one inside of MakeCode Arcade.
Okie dokie. And GP tomorrow will have another MakeCode minute.
Every week.
All right, it is time.
It's that time.
Python
It's that
on
week.
hardware. Yeah, we've got a lot going on.
Wow, this is the most Python on hardware news ever.
Yeah. So let me start with some news. 2008 is the beginning of the year, of course.
2019.
2018 was 2018 was the beginning.
Was the beginning.
Was when we were asking about what do you want to see in CircuitPython, and then 2019 we did that, and we have an entire list now. There is an aggregation of all these. It's on a post. Look for it on our website. It's linked on every blog post right now in the extra section at the bottom. It's also in our newsletter. It's everywhere. Celebrating CircuitPython for Beta 1. Last week we released 4.0 Beta 0 with refined Bluetooth energy and display APIs. There was a couple bugs, squished them. Now we're up to Beta 1.
Yay.
So check that out.
Yeah, there's always a couple quick betas right after we release.
Yeah.
You know, there's always like, oh, fix the bugs. Because a lot of people suddenly show up and they're like, I want to try this out.
Yep.
And we squish some bugs.
Okay. We're on our way to 1,000 stars for Circuit.
How many do we
Python.
have?
Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked, because if we only had a Python-powered IoT display that parses JSON and shows it live. Oh, look.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. So
We have 910.
Yeah.
And
so
this will ding when somebody stars us.
this is an unreleased device. It's Python-powered. GitHub.com/Adafruit/CircuitPython. If you star us during the show, if you already have not,
Yeah, it has to be a new star.
has to be a new star, we'll get a ding, and you'll probably hear it through the show. So we're going to
That'll
leave
be
this
exciting.
on.
And so go up.
Yeah, we're going to leave this on throughout
We
the
need
show.
more. This is important. We have to
Yeah.
collect all the
We
stars.
have to get to 1,000. Hackspace Magazine, I want to give a shout out to them. They don't pay us to do this or anything, but if you subscribe, it'll help support them. This is one of the best maker magazines out there. Also, if you subscribe for the year, you get a Circuit Playground Express, which runs CircuitPython. CircuitPython was on the cover, besides Colin, of Hackspace Magazine. There is a giant article about CircuitPython, the language made for makers. So they dive in, talk about why it's good, has Moo in it, all sorts of good stuff. And then there's projects inside Hackspace Magazine. This project is from Sophie, who I think's in the chat tonight.
Yes,
This is
it's
a really
light painting glove.
Yeah, you can use CircuitPython for that. Then if you want to, we just got, look at that. Did you hear it?
912.
Yeah. 912.
912.
That's nice. Thank you. Keep doing it.
Boop.
Then using Python and Raspberry Pi, here is the sorting toys. This is cool.
Adafruit 14.
Sorting toys, the robot way.
Yes, it uses a color sensor for Pomeranian, and it uses our motor shield.
Yeah.
And it uses our CircuitPython library called MotorKit, I believe.
Yeah.
That Candy wrote.
There was a review of the Trellis M4 Express. This is a very unique, interesting device. It's a CircuitPython powered device. It plays WAV files.
Music and audio
Yeah, it
and
could be a MIDI
synthesizer.
controller. It got 9 out of 10. High praise.
Nice.
JP was on Cool Tools, one of our favorite podcasts, talked a little bit about CircuitPython and more, gave a good explanation of it. Thank you, JP. EduBlocks is in beta as well. Lots of betas this week. Adafruit.edublocks.org. If you want to program using Python but blocks and it can switch back and forth, try EduBlocks.
Try it out. It's beta. Give them feedback. We'll also have a guide coming soon. Wow, the dings are coming in like crazy.
Keep it going.
It's out of control. It's
Yeah.
at night, so you can hear it every time someone stars.
It's like those old PBS fundraisers, like get a tote bag and a
I'm totally going to give
coffee
you.
mug.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Okay, so we got EduBlock. We'll have a guide for EduBlocks as well.
The Arkansas Department of Education has 400 or so Circuit Playground Expresses that they're giving to their educators by using things like Circuit Python and MakeCode. We linked it up if you happen to be in Arkansas and you're an educator. Check it out. This is Lady A can
Yes,
talk
this
about
is
this
a
more.
good guide by Brent, who it's such a blessing, such a mitzvah. This is a lot of people. Sometimes they end up, doing stuff with their Metro M0, M4, their Feather, their M0, M4 boards, Trinket M0, Gem M0, Feather M0, and some such. They might blow away the bootloader. The bootloader does have protection bits, but you can brick it if you like, or maybe you're making a custom board. So we have a guide now on how to use a J-Link Mini, or you can use either an Atmel Ice board, and then how to use Atmel Studio, which is free software, to load the bootloader, unlock the bootloader, load the bootloader, and then relock it afterwards so that you can resuscitate boards that may not be working right now.
Okay. Next up, this is a whole collection of projects that used the Circuit Playground Express to make these operation games, these custom ones. This Lakers player, I think he's made out of butter. Really cool.
And he's got some ham.
Yeah, a really cool custom operation games. This is one of those Euro tracks that you can make, and this was using
The synthesizer.
Yeah, this is using Circuit Python. These are more community projects. This was a Raspberry Pi bot, and it was using Bluetooth and Swift and Circuit Python all to control this bot.
It's a cute bot.
Yeah.
Look at it go. Zoom. We're a little bot.
Blitz City DIY is using Circuit Python and this controller to control Cricket, and there's a joystick with it.
Yeah.
We hit kind of a new level with Circuit Python. We have 30 boards altogether that support Circuit Python, so we have this in this neat grid here. We updated the awesome list, and I'll talk about some of the updates on that. But you can take a look. These are all the boards. Ours are there. Then the Arduino boards that are supported, Electronic Cats, the Mini SAM, the NRF boards, the Maker Diary, Particle, and then all these SparkFun boards. Speaking of, check out the SparkFun Redboard Turbo. This is a SAMD21 based Redboard with support for Circuit Python. Watch Rob's video, Python scripts on a Redboard.
Amazing.
And this week they published another guide on using Circuit Python with their Lumi Drive, which is another Circuit Python powered SparkFun board.
Yes, this is the power of Python. It's just so easy.
And then this is the
FOMU.
the tiny USB that's going over to FPGAs.
Right, this is
which
Valenti
one
USB.
step closer for Circuit Python and FPGAs.
This is the FOMU from Zobs, which is a crowd-funded FPGA ICE40 version of the TOMU, and they finally got USB transfers working, which is exciting because we're using the same USB stack that we're using for Circuit Python, which means once they get it working, Circuit Python with USB support will be totally possible to do on these FPGA boards, which I think people are very excited about.
And other hardware news, our Adafruit. This all has the Circuit Python libraries that go along with it, so you can use it. We have the NRF 52840 as a module if you want to
Pick one up and you can
make your own Circuit Python.
load
powered
it with the
board.
bootloader and then run Circuit Python on it.
We have a, not out yet, this is a sensor.
This is a crypto chip.
Yeah.
And there's a MicroPython library for it already. The at ECC, somebody tweeted us, I can't remember their username.
Yeah.
And they already have a MicroPython library, which is really exciting. So you can use crypto chips to securely store your secrets. This is an ESP32 helper. As I've been doing more ESP32 stuff, last weekend I did the SPI client work for ESP32 as a coprocessor. So you might want to have an ESP32 that doesn't have a lot of extras like a USB connection. It's very compact. So you have very compact boards that you can use to add Wi-Fi to your Arduino or CircuitPython boards using our library.
This is a Metro NRF 52840. We'll be showing some other surprises and more in our top secret, but I want to show
this is
that.
a design. It's like the NRF 52832 didn't have a ton of pins, but the 840 has plenty. So you can have QSPI and debug, and then all the pins. And then this is also our first board with USB-C. You can see up there in the top left. So we're going to make a USB-C board.
Okay.
See how that goes.
You like the teensy? Well, guess what? Another one's coming out.
Itsy bitsy.
Sorry.
I know they cost somebody
I
someone.
keep saying that. Well,
They're small.
you're really going to like the itsy bitsy then.
The Itsy Bitsy NRF 52 840. This is actually a double-sided board because people were like, well, we have the 3224, the M0 and the M4 itsy bitsies, and it's like, oh, we want an NR52841. Well, I couldn't fit it all on top, so it's a double-sided board. But you can see the module on top, 2 buttons, dot star LED, and indicator LED, and the bottom is the power supply stuff.
Scott showed this off on the show and tell, but here's the video that I took from his Twitter. This is the terminal stuff. So when you
REPL on the display.
Yeah, when you boot up a CircuitPython device, it has real-time what's going on. It's cool. MicroPython version 1.10 released. Title is Vast Improvements in Native Emitter, New NRF Port, Unified Documentation. So check out
Yeah, a lot of people are running 1.94, but now we're up to 1.10.
Yeah.
So more stuff, lots of bug fixes.
Yep.
Good things.
And other MicroPython news, we just stocked this. This is a Calliope board, and this runs MicroPython.
That's right.
If you want to hack some of the Sonoff devices, you can put MicroPython on them.
Yes, they have ESPs inside of them usually.
Yep. This is a MicroPython-powered Rubik's Cube.
Ooh, neat.
Player, device, solver, yeah.
Unsolver, unclear.
This was neat. I didn't see this anywhere, so I wanted to write about it. This is the Lumpy board. It's from Indonesia only, and it's a MicroPython board, ESP32. And check out the resources that we link to as well. Like a menagerie of different boards out there. Moo has some exciting news. This is something that will be coming up in Moo soon. This is third-party library support. So
instead of running pip3 or pip, you can do it from within Moo.
Third-party Python packages via the Python packaging.
Yes.
To use within Moo's isolated Python environment.
That's right, because you don't, to make Moo easy for people to, especially, this is not, it's MicroPython, CircuitPython yet, but if you're using it as a Python editor, it runs its own internal version of Python, so it's protected, and you can't uninstall it by accident, but that means if you want to install packages, you need to do it from within Moo.
Zenith is over in Discord. I think Zenith is doing pull requests for adding some cool new graphics to Moo. We also added a Moo emoji if you type :Moo in Discord.
Nice.
I did a roundup of some Python history. Did you know that Python was originally designed for Amoeba?
What's Amoeba? It's a computer.
Amoeba is a distributed operating system developed by Andrew S. Tenenbaum and others at the Vrije University in Amsterdam. The goal of the Amoeba project was to build a time-sharing system. So this is what Python was developed for.
That's cool. Tenenbaum is, he's famous for operating system books.
And this is where, this was called the Zoo.
Okay.
And this is where Python ran.
Python is much older than I thought. I don't know why. I kind of assumed it kind of came into being in 1998, but that's totally not true.
Sun 360, 350, some 386 some Sparks.
It ran on the 68030.
Yeah. So anyways, that's some Python history, and we also put in some Python hardware history, TinyPy and PyMite. PyCascades is coming up February 23rd, 24th. Nina is doing a talk about specifically Python on hardware. PyCon is coming up. I think Scott's going to be at PyCascades, and I think Scott's going to be at PyCon as well. That's coming up in May. We still are looking for people to help translate all the things in CircuitPython to different languages, that's spoken language that is, and written languages. We have all of our libraries, all the stuff going on with Blinka, news about our Discord. Thank you everyone in Discord, especially in the CircuitPython channel. And then we updated Awesome CircuitPython. We added a ton of stuff. We update it every 2 months, but we have to update it even more. We put all the boards that are supported, all the new resources, books, news articles, code. It's there. In case you all missed it, don't worry about it. Go to adafruitdaily.com. You can go to the archives and the categories, and that is Python news. There's so much going on in the world.
We can't even keep it straight. There's just so much going on.
There's a lot. Okay, time travel.
We rolled right into that.
Okay.
I don't know if you know, but by the way, we have 921 stars.
Oh, did you want to check that? Let's travel back to...
Let's travel back to now.
Let's travel back to now.
We started at 9, we had 910.
Remember when we had 900?
That was like a year ago.
Such a long time ago. So sad. Now we have 921.
Wow.
Okay, so keep going to github.com/Adafruit/CircuitPython. If you have not already started, start, because you'll hear that ding in the background.
And that's very exciting.
Okay. Anyways, if you are someone who uses an iPhone and you go to the App Store, search for Adafruit stickers, we just updated our app. And we have over 50 different stickers. We added a lot of the new ones, lots of Blink and more. when you get a text message, you can send these fun Adafruit characters back and forth to each other.
People are like, what are you working on? You're like, I'm working on my CircuitPython project. Boom.
Okay. Happy birthday, Rubik's Cube. 1980, the Rubik's Cube was unveiled at the Ideal Toy Corp in London. You can read about the history of the Rubik's Cube.
Nice tie-in with that project.
Exactly.
Nice tie-in.
This is all planned in
I
advance.
know this is a theme.
Yeah. Help wanted, Adafruit jobs, more jobs.adafruit.com. A bunch of them got posted. This is all from one company entity. Galileo Learning in Oakley, California has a summer program director role, a summer camp teacher in technology, science and engineering, outdoor play, and teacher art. So check out all of these. This is jobs.adafruit.com. If you're a company, post a job that you're looking to fill. If you're someone who's looking for a job, post your skills up there. Okay. Open source hardware. We're an open source hardware company. To prove it,
It's true.
we have all these guides and code and more. That's how we prove it.
We have a lot.
Yeah.
Do we have like 6?
We have 1,728.
That's more than 6.
We'll have a little device that shows it one day.
Oh, real soon.
Yeah. What's on the big board this week?
Okay. So let's start with, can we do the video? So we have this really cool LED pixel project by Dano. It's a circuit playground, and he used long glow sticks, and they act really good as diffusers, like gigantic. It's people like, how do I get some gigantic diffusers like that? They're just glow sticks, and then you put some NeoPixel dots underneath it, drive it with a circuit playground express, and I
Do
even
you want to show this?
I can even show it. Yeah, maybe I'll just plug it.
How did you want to show this?
I can just hold it right up because it's pretty big. Boom, look at that. It's so cool. And then in the dark, it looks even better, of course, because it's really well lit here.
Yeah.
But it's got NeoPixels underneath it, and then you can code it in CircuitPython or MakeCode. And you can make all sorts of cool sculptures. You don't have to make like a rainbow, like a tunnel. You can also make this like cool shape. Do you have a picture of the shape? Or?
Yeah. And this project kind of got a little squirrely. We started working on it, and we noticed that it started to attach itself to different parts of
That's our pick and place.
Adafruit. And, we sent the team in to investigate, and they did. And they were like, hey, let's talk about this before we do anything. So it turns out Dano's project became self-aware, and it is now,
It's now in space.
on its next journey. But you can also make a puzzle out of it. So anyways, that's the,
That's cool.
yeah.
With hot glue sticks.
Hot glue. Watch out. Hot glue sticks become
They become emergent.
self-aware and emergent.
Okay, so
what's next?
next up, let's see what other guys we got. I'm going to leave that one. We've got the how to make a arcade game in MakeCode. And I can also, we can show the video for that. So MakeCode Arcade now allows you to make video games. We showed in MakeCode Minute. You can start making sprites. But you can actually make pretty cool advanced games, and you can play them on hardware. So you can load them on a Raspberry Pi Zero with an arcade bonnet, as shown here. Or you can run them on
Yeah.
other hardware that doesn't exist yet. So I can show.
Yeah, this is it's not out yet, but it is. We're gonna show
Oh
you.
man, I already lost. Hold on. I gotta reset.
Yeah, you gonna play again.
Very embarrassing. Run, blinker, run. Yeah, hold on, because you have to
Watch
get you have to get the star.
So you have to get the stars.
Shoot, man, hold on. I can't look at you while playing. Stop distracting me. All right,
Job.
gotta get the stars. Okay,
Get
got
the star, get the star. Watch out for-
Stop. Wait, watch out. Sparky wants to eat me. Oh my goodness.
This is all made in MakeCode.
Oh no, hold on. Oh, I'm only back down to 1 life. Oh no, game over. Score 9. So you
Okay.
can play games that you've made with MakeCode on hardware. To get started, you can use a simulator. So check it out. We've got a guide on how to make sprites and how to make a simple game. That's very exciting. Okay, so that's by Isaac Wellish. We have how to run a CPM emulator on Grand Central M4 or any of our M4 boards with an SD card attached to it. The Grand Central has it built in, which is kind of handy. The CPM was an old computer, actually before my time. A lot of people remember it fondly. But yeah, you can load it up and try your old CPM programs or games if you still have them kicking around.
Yeah.
We have a Circuit Playground Powerpuff Valentine project. We showed that video earlier.
Yeah.
It's just using copper tape to decorate a candy box. So the candy box does more than just have candy. It also has a cool electronics project that you can build and celebrate your favorite Powerpuff Girl character. Of course, you can use other characters as well. It doesn't have to be Powerpuff. We just happen to like them. We've got the Halloween Macintosh, which shows startup screens from various Apple history and plays startup sounds. We showed that video earlier. We've
No,
got.
not.
So we showed a small clip earlier. We'll show
Yeah.
a longer clip later.
It's coming up.
Sorry. We have Circus Python. This is a guide from Dan Halbert, who does not usually pop out with guides, but wanted to demo the Bluetooth Low Energy stuff he's added to Circuit Python. So if you have one of our new NR52 840 boards, you can now use Bluetooth Low Energy and communicate with our app. And to demonstrate it, he made a demo that shows moving a servo and lighting up a NeoPixel ring from a Feather NR52 840 controlled over Bluetooth Low Energy. It's very exciting. I know you're like, well, what's up with the Circus Python? But it's the beginning of a whole new world of Bluetooth on microcontrollers made easy. And then Erin made another guide. She double guided it this week. This is a remote control using Feather with LoRa or RFM69 radio and a NeoTrellis I2C board that will let you have different NeoPixel effects, and the NeoPixel buttons tell you what the effect is going to be. So really good if you're trying to remote control an event or effects. You can, this is an upgrade on JP's project, except instead of monocolor buttons, the buttons are multicolored. And so she showed how to control a bunch of NeoPixel crowns that some characters would be wearing, and then the choreographer would press the buttons to play them. JP also, last week's project was a 16 potentiometer Grand Central MIDI controller that got published. We also have a new MIDI library to try that out if you want to do USB MIDI on CircuitPython and control a lot of analog inputs. The Grand Central has 16, and we put a potentiometer on every single one of them.
Okay. Next up, Bears Farm City.
Choo choo!
Yeah. Okay, let's keep moving along here. We have some main New York City factory footage. Take away Adafruit Factory.
A lot of rainbow.
Okay, and then we have some 3D prints. These are speed ups.
That's nice. Wonder what that is.
What could it be?
Unclear.
What could it be?
Is that some sort of sculpture? Is it mountain range?
And as always, here is the
Slightly
sunset
rainy.
or the sunrise outside, where the pick place is fall asleep.
Now it's like super snowy and just wow,
Yeah.
look at those clouds. Intense cloud cover coming in.
Yeah.
Boom.
Weather. Enjoy it.
Well,
It'll be gone one day. 3D printing.
All right, now there's this video.
That's right. Now we have what you were talking about before,
The Halloween Mac.
which is the
full video.
full video, and this
Not
is
just
the
the-
3D
not just the
rendering.
teaser.
Yeah. Here we go.
Make your own little Mac.
Hey, what's up folks? In this project, we're building a mini retro Macintosh. This little guy displays macOS boot screens and actually plays the startup chime. It uses the Adafruit Hollowing M0 Express and runs CircuitPython. The capacitive touchpads can cycle through different images and sounds that are stored on the device. CircuitPython makes it easy to display images on TFT displays. Use the Adafruit libraries and demo code to run Python on hardware with the Mu editor. Easily update assets by dragging and dropping straight onto the built-in flash drive. To build this project, download and 3D print the design files. The hollowing PCB snap fits onto the faceplate without any screws. A mini speaker plugs into the audio port on the back. The faceplate can also snap fit and locks onto the enclosure. Press fit the speaker into the back door and close it shut with the built-in latch. You can power the hollowing over USB or recharge a LiPo battery to make it portable. All of the components are accessible through the bottom. Be sure to check out the Learn Guide to build this project, links are in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
And here is a speed up video of the week. Okie dokie, and don't forget, Noah and Pedro, every single Wednesday, 3D Hangouts. A little bit of a reminder, I should probably say this now because there's one thing that will be hard to get and one thing that won't be. So first, AdaBox, if you haven't subscribed to AdaBox, adabox.com, a lot of people signed up for the holidays for gifts, so we don't have a ton of open spots.
That's
so
right. We
if
have
you've been-
less than usual.
Yeah,
A lot of
so-
people didn't cancel because they really liked it.
Yeah, and a lot of people signed up. So if you're on the fence, it's going to be a really good AdaBox. Every single time we get more stuff, more ambitious. So it is going to be a good box. So that you have a little bit of time, and then it'll go away. Then it'll come back. But Adafruit.io, however, if we have the pro accounts now, and you can get a year pass, and we have the year cards, and that helps us pay for the servers and all that. So the best, and I think most open I/O service out there for
Absolutely.
makers.
I don't know any other ones that have a free tier, that have some free
Free
documentation,
tier,
that let you,
respects the user,
unless you have the data.
Internet of Things Bill of Rights. So anyways, check out Adafruit.io, and that helps us pay the bills for the server. Okay,
Yep.
before we get to new products, don't forget the code is tricolor. And you ready, Lady Ada?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. This week, first up,
Oh, batteries. I love battery holders. This is a 2x2 AA battery holder. So it holds 4 total AA's in series for about 4.8 to 6 volts, depending on whether you use rechargeables or alkaline. But this is a special box. Not only is it like that kind of standard cubic AA battery holder, but it has these really nice premium terminal blocks at the end, a premium plug connectors at the end that plug right into a breadboard and are nice and solid. So usually you get like thin wires. No. You get these nice tips here that are 0.1 inch by 0.1 inch square. And so, for example, if you have a breadboard and you want to power your project up, plugs right in, and it's like such a blessing. And it just works, and it's nice and solid. You don't have to solder anything. Of course, you can solder them if you like, but this is definitely the easiest way to battery power something, either with a breadboard or soldered or into a terminal block or what have you.
next up.
We have the official Raspberry Pi Foundation A+ case. It's a little slim case. You can pop the top off. It's pretty straightforward. You put your Raspberry Pi 3 A+, which they just released, into it. I think it'll also fit the original A+ if you have one. And it looks a little bit like the red and white one case that they have also for the 3B+. They also released a more modular case. This one's quite simple. It's only 2 pieces, but fits your A+ great.
Okay, this one is on its way. But
Coming soon.
We put in the store so you can sign up for
That's
it.
right.
It's the compute module.
This is the
dev kit.
compute module dev kit. So this is the I/O kit that you plug a Raspberry Pi compute kit into it, and it gives you like all those GPIO. You get so many pins, like it's like 200 pins that you get. You get USB. You don't get Ethernet, but you do get HDMI. You get USB host. You get USB client, and then you also get an SD card socket. It's just like an all-in-one power supply management system that you plug the chip into. The
Yeah.
module into, so you can develop your own industrial uses. It's not used by makers a lot, unless you happen to really need a Raspberry Pi with a ton of pins. Like if you need
Speaking of.
infinite pins.
So the reason why that came out is because these came out.
These are new Compute Module 3 Pluses. So the new Compute Modules have the new nice heat spreader. You'll see that on top of that metal. So it does run faster because it doesn't overheat. You don't have to put a heat sink on it. It uses, I think, a slight revision of the CPU chip. It's still a quad core. But the biggest difference is now you can get it with multiple different sizes of eMCC flash. So we have right now, to sign up, you can get the 8 gigabyte eMCC flash. And then we also have the light version. This is the light version. You can see there's a chip missing. So that one, you would use the SD card socket on the dev kit only. You wouldn't use the eMCC instead. So these are used often by people doing products or embedded design, or they want to have a lot of GPIO. They don't want the bulk of the or the power usage of having all the USB host, the USB hub and the Ethernet. They're much slimmer and they fit into a SO-DIMM socket, so it's easy to integrate into your final design. But nothing. It's not going to be as cheap as a Pi Zero. So if you are just a maker. Maybe this is when you make a product that you want to commercialize and you want to be able to slot these in.
Okay, next up.
We now have these OLED feather wings you know and love, but now they come assembled. So if you don't want to do any soldering at all, the OLED now comes with headers attached on it for a little bit more. You can plug it into your favorite feather wing or doubler or tripler, plug it on top, and now you have an OLED display with a couple buttons. So yes, the OLED you know and love, now with headers.
Okay.
And then we just have a bunch of photos.
Yeah, same stuff. All right, next up.
Okay, next up, we have these chunky LEDs. You actually sent these to me and you said, hey, check out these cool chunky LEDs. So these are 15 millimeter by 50 millimeter square LEDs. They're breadboard friendly. We have them in blue and red, and they're just like chunky and diffused. They look really good. They are a little tough to photograph, but I can try showing them, and maybe I'll use a piece of paper to diffuse them. So this is it. You can see my demo with that battery pack, which works really well. And maybe I'll see if I can diffuse.
Yeah.
So you can see it's a nice solid red. In person, of course, it's a nice smooth red color, and it's completely uniform. So green is an indicator. If you want to have something that has like a cosplay effect or an indicator effect that is nice and big and flat and even colored. So we have it in red. We also have it in wrong polarity blue. The blue is a little bit brighter than the red, of course, because blue LEDs tend to be a little bit brighter. Yeah, there you go.
That's nice.
That's nice. It's just like a normal LED. You can drive it from a control pin, put a resistor in series, and boom, you've just got this beautiful LED. I just think these just look really nice. I think these would be a great addition to a control panel or cosplay prop or something when you want like a sci-fi look.
Next up.
Slight update, no schematic or hardware changes, but we did update the color. I do actually want to make all the M4 boards purple to differentiate them from the M0 boards. So this Metro M4 Express now comes in a lovely purple color, just like before, but now in purple. Nice. Look at that solid purple color, and then MOSFETs on the back. Still featuring the SAMD 51. The Metro M4 has, I think, 512 kilobytes of flash, 192 kilobytes of RAM, tons of GPIO, caching. I can do like camera inputs. It's got 2 megabytes of QSPI flash, great for CircuitPython, wonderful CircuitPython. Of course, you can use Arduino with it as well. And now it's in purple.
And the reason for that discount code tonight is because of this.
Yes, our star of the show tonight is the 2.13-inch e-ink breakout board. We have the 1.54-inch that we put in a couple months ago, actually, quite a while ago. And I finally got around to getting the 2.13 inch in stock. This is a tricolor display. What that means is it can display white, black, or red. But you can't mix the black and red. It's like you can only have one of those three colors. But it's nice you can have black and white, and then some nice highlighting in red. So here's a demo of it running, and it's just, you've got the black, white, and red lines. And this is it drawing an image. You can see it takes a bit of time to get the image up. That's because that red color especially, the red ink is a little more globular, so it takes more time for it to kind of like sink in, because it has to do this wave pulse to get the ink to appear. You can refresh it about once every 3 minutes. I'm speeding it up here so that people can see, much faster. But for the best longevity, refresh it about once every 3 minutes. What's nice about these, you might be thinking like, I can get e-ink displays like so cheap anywhere, but why would I get these? So we did a really nice thing here, which we added SRAM chip on the back. So not only do you get the display, and of course I can unplug it because it's...
Well, I can also show the photo.
You can show the photo. On the back, of course, is fully level shifted. So you can use 3-volt or 5-volt microcontrollers or my computers. And below that big level shifter is an SRAM chip. So normally you need about 6 kilobytes of SRAM or RAM to buffer the entire display. These displays, you can't update just one section. You have to update the entire display at once. So you have to buffer the entire display in memory. But for smaller chips, like the Mega 328, they only have 2K of RAM. There's no way for you to store that entire buffer. Are you like out of luck? No, because this board will use that SRAM chip, and our library will use that SRAM chip for you. And because e-ink is a pretty, you can see it's slow to update, it doesn't matter that you have the SRAM chip in the middle. It doesn't slow it down that much. And you don't need to use any RAM at all to display onto the display. And even if you have an M0 with 32 kilobytes of RAM or an STM32, 6K of SRAM is quite a bit. You probably want to save that for something else. In this case, again, that extra SRAM chip, it only takes one more pin because you're already using SPI for the display. But you get to offload all that memory usage. We also put an SD card slot on the back so you can store images. And there's a shutdown pin, so if you want to completely use no power whatsoever, you can shut down the regulator, and all the circuitry on board is turned off. So you can go into ultra low power modes and only use the quiescent power of the regulator, which is like, I think 0.1 microamperes or something. So that's the tricolor 2.13 inch e-ink display. We've got coded in Arduino and CircuitPython, so you can use it with your Raspberry Pi, you can use it with your CircuitPython boards, you can use it with an Arduino, pretty much anything you like. And that's the new products.
Okay.
Boom. I'll go through fast. New recap. We got this 2x2 AA battery holder. It's kind of a cubic battery holder up to 6 volts, 4 to 6 volts, and it's got these nice plugs on the end so you can plug it right into a breadboard. The official Raspberry Pi case from the Raspberry Pi Foundation fits the 3A Plus Raspberry Pi that recently came out. It's compact and just fits together. Snap it, and you got an enclosure for your A+. Coming soon, we've got the Compute Module 3 Pluses from Raspberry Pi Foundation. This is the dev board, which breaks out all the pins from the Compute Module, USB, HDMI, and SD card. And then, of course, we also are going to be stocking the 3 Plus Compute Modules. These have the new heat spreader and come with a variety of different memory configurations from 4 gigabyte up to, I think, 32 gigabytes. We're going to be stocking the 8 and the Lite. In the Lite, you'd use the dev board with the SD card. You also have a fully assembled OLED display, just like the OLED Feather Wings that you know and love. But this time, the headers, see these headers? They're on there for you. You don't have to solder them, so you can plug it right into your particle board, your doubler, your feather, your what have you. We've got these nice chunky LEDs. They're 15 by 15 millimeter square LEDs, and they come in red or blue. They're just like normal LEDs, but they're nice diffused effect. Really beautiful look to them. The Metro M4 has been updated to now a purple silk screen. It looks beautiful with that gold Enig plating as well. Same M4 you know and love, but now in purple. Then the star today is a 2.13 inch e-ink tricolor display. You can display white background, black ink, or red ink. And this comes with SRAM built into it. So even if you're using something as simple as a Mega 328, you can use this because the 6 kilobytes of RAM that you need to buffer the display is handled for you on the board. We do an SRAM backup for buffering the full display. You have to buffer the whole display. You don't have to do that on your microcontroller. It does it on the board for you, which is a very nice addition. Let's use it with any kind of microcontroller you like. We also have level shifting, so it works with 3 volts or 5 volts, and a micro SD card slot on the back. So you get everything you need to build a cool e-ink project. And that's new products.
Okay, so when you put all that stuff in your cart,
10% off.
use this. Let's do some top secret, because
Yes.
we have a few things here.
Okay. We showed these off. It's crypto
Yeah.
chip breakout, and then
Yep.
the ESP32 breakout. That's actually going to actually wrap that up. The
Yep.
NFC2 840 breakout, and then this is an earlier breakout, which is now live. We put it together today. The Metro M4 Express Wi-Fi. So it's purple. It's got the Metro M4 Express that you know and love, but I kind of squished everything, and the LEDs are now over here. There's the on-off switches over here, and then I put an ESP32 here. It's that Wi-Fi coprocessor. You can use it in Arduino or in CircuitPython to add Wi-Fi with SSL support and TLS support to your project, and it's still in that nice Arduino shape. So everything got shoved around a little bit, but made room for this module, and it still had space for some silkscreen. And it's still got that QSPI flash and the SAMD51, micro USB, debug port, and LEDs. So I think this will be a really nice update, especially if you want to do Wi-Fi projects with a CircuitPython board. I've got the request library ported over. You'll be able to do that in CircuitPython and build neat internet-connected projects. This is the year of the internet.
So I've heard. And
Also,
then,
we're up to
yeah, let's go-
924 stars.
Yeah, let's stay on the overhead.
I'm here. I'm done moving.
Yes, move the stars over there. So if you didn't do this yet, if you have a GitHub account, please go to
Go ahead.
adafruit.com/, github.com/adafruit.
/Adafruit/CircuitPython. Hit stars.
And then this is not out yet. This is the tricorder that we're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I'm scanning stuff. And then, so this uses, I posted up in the chat, this uses the new CircuitPython Touch that lets you do stuff like this. So, yeah, anyways.
Okay, so you're going to tricorder some stuff?
Yeah, we're going to tricorder some stuff.
Cool.
And this will actually work real, like you could have sensors on all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, get back in the vault.
Get some stars.
We're
close to 925.
Yep, getting there. Okay, questions. Let's start answering. Go
Yes.
to adafruit.it/discord. That is where we answer them. And you can hang out even after we're gone and
Yeah, chill.
do stuff there. Okay,
Chitta
what
chatta.
kind of LEDs are in the diffused?
They're just
chunky?
LEDs. They're just LEDs, but instead of having a small rounded body, they're just encased in a gigantic piece of plastic.
Okay.
Chunky.
And then on our website, if you go to adafruit.com/new, what's the difference between
Thank you.
okay.
925.
what's the difference between these two?
One is just
So,
we have this thing where we
yeah.
have the main.
that,
Well, so we have the version with headers attached and without, and then we have a page that kind of is the meta page that you
Gotcha.
can select. It's the way our cart works is there's like a landing page for both of them. But they're
landing
the s-
page, and then you can select if you want it or
Yeah.
not want it. Okay, got it. Okay, good.
This is it's a cart thing. It's
Yeah.
the way we
No, that
did
makes
it.
sense. Okay, let's see here.
Oh man, we just got like 3 stars in a row.
Hello, I used to go to school for electronics, but they started us with 2 years of theory, so I got bored and really didn't study. I want to get back to it. Do I start with basic electricity or low-level stuff like half adders? What I'm interested in doing is with electronics is making my own tiny devices from scratch that will handle I/O, LCD. Also making my own USB devices. I also have interest in reverse engineering electronics, mostly ARM-driven keyboards and USB devices. I've already played with Arduino and Node MCU and done some basic stuff, but I want to make sure I properly understand everything at a low level.
I think if you're doing that kind of high level work, which is basically microcontrollers, you would benefit most from like a systems integration class, like a system engineering class where you build your own computer. I don't think you need to take like a transistor level class, but it is still good to know some basics, like your basic like Ohm's law type stuff. But I don't think you need to do the half adders. I'd skip straight to like the there's probably a class where you do like some VHDL and you maybe build your own computer. That's kind of the most useful thing because that kind of bridges the logic level stuff, which, is kind of boring, honestly, with, okay, here's how do you actually build an operating system.
Okay. Why do you use a dot star as the status LED on Itsy Bitsy's, but a NeoPixel on the other Express boards?
I like the NeoPixel because it only uses one pin, but the dot star is smaller. If I have space, I'll put a NeoPixel on because again, there's one less pin that I have to route. But on the very small boards, there just isn't enough space for a NeoPixel. Nowadays, actually, there is a 2mm or 2mm NeoPixel, but at the time there wasn't. And so I would go with a dot star. Maybe now, if like I was designing it, I would go with these micro NeoPixels. But the micro dot stars work quite well. And usually on the smaller boards, ironically, we actually have more pins available because there's not as many broken out pins, and so it's easier to route pins to the chip. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a balance of like losing one pin, one pad versus the size.
Okay. Next up, where are the ESP32 and NRF 52840 in terms of speed compared to the M0 and M4 that Adafruit uses for most CircuitPython? And since the ESP32 runs MicroPython, any plans to support CircuitPython?
We have absolutely no plans to support CircuitPython to ESP32 because it doesn't have USB on it. It's not a great experience, which is why everyone's always asking us to port CircuitPython to it. But we actually can't solve the problem with it's just really hard to get files onto it.
It's a good coprocessor, so we use that on the board as Wi-Fi.
The ESP32 really wants to spend its time doing Wi-Fi. It doesn't really. It is faster than the M4 in terms of just cycles, but you end up spending all this time managing your Wi-Fi in the real-time operating system that you might as well just have it as a coprocessor than having it as the main processor. The NRF 52840 is quite fast, but again, it's constantly jumping into that soft device to do Bluetooth stuff. So it's by numbers, it's faster. It's actually slower because it's only 64 megahertz. It's got more memory, but it's still like you're spending all your time doing this wireless stuff, which takes a lot of time. So, it's a trade-off of having integrated Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. You lose about half of your cycles to managing the internet and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth stuff.
Will any of the upcoming boards have the QSPI onboard flash pins broken out to headers? I have an external flash chip to interface with QSPI.
No, we don't. So the QSPI has to be quite fast, so we don't break it out to headers because if you connected something to them, you would mess up the QSPI, which on CircuitPython happens behind the scenes. If you want to use QSPI, make your wire short and route your board yourself because it can run up to 100 megahertz.
Okay. Will there be a product like the Power Boost 1000 but output 3.3 volts?
Probably not because you don't. Usually you use a LiPo battery and you can just use a linear regulator to get to 3.3.
Okay. Let's see. This is a good question for Noah and Pedro for their show next week. How can I make 3D prints walls where they're still, how thin can they make them where they're still stable? It's a good one for Noah and Pedro.
Yeah, that I don't know.
3D Hangouts.
3D printer. But yeah, they do 3D Hangouts every Wednesday mornings.
Is there any rhyme or reason which boards are black, which ones are blue? Yeah, I mean, generally.
Yeah, because I want them that way.
Yeah, well, generally, like we want to have black is great, generally speaking, but
Blue's kind of the classic.
Blue, depending on the time when we were doing stuff, we would use different colors for different boards.
The first boards I made were green because it was the only thing available.
So purple, for instance, we're using for the M4s because we wanted the visual, be able to tell. I think if there's like a Bluetooth version of something down the road, we might use it as a blue color, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Are you doing anything with neural networks? Yeah, I guess sort of, kind of. I mean, like we have the Google AIY thing. I think there's lots of fancy names for things that your people already do. We're going to probably have a little self-driving car kit down the road. Lots of other stuff.
Yeah, you can use the Google AIY or Vision Kit. That's what people are doing neural networks with.
We're moving a lot of CircuitPython stuff into Blinka, so it works on Raspberry Pi. So you'll see us do a lot of stuff there. Okay. I think that is going to be it. Do you want to give something away?
Yes, we're up to 929 stars.
How many stars are we up to?
929.
929, okay.
Boom, man. All right, so let's give away something. Let's give away an e-ink display.
Oh, really? You're going to give away an e-ink display?
Yeah.
So this one right here?
Yeah, because you can use it with just about anything.
That's nice.
Handy. Should get one of these.
Okay.
Great.
What are the rules?
Rules are you have to call the phone number when it appears on the screen. The first person who calls and is able to answer the phone will be the winner. When I pick up the phone, I'm going to say ahoy, ahoy, and then I'm going to ask you your name and where you're calling from and a project you're working on or you want to work on. If you're able to answer those 3 questions correctly, very challenging, what your name is, then I will give you this prize, which is the e-ink display. You can only win once per lifetime. So if you've won before, don't try to win again. Give everybody a chance. Call this number.
Yeah.
Wait till I say ahoy, ahoy, and then you should say hello. Be sure to say hello because otherwise I might hang up on you because sometimes people, they don't answer. So use your words.
Use your words.
Use your words.
All right, and I think I just put the phone number on the screen. So
Decode this into numbers.
Someone wants to call international.
They can be international. People have
It's
called,
fine.
somebody called once from, multiple people call from Canada. We've had people call from Australia.
Yeah,
We can ship almost anywhere in the world.
pretty much. And if you don't, we'll tell you and we'll figure something out. And then the phone's here. You want to put the phone where you?
Sorry. There you go. Here,
Yeah,
it's
phone.
it's double duty here, 929.
Let's see who can call.
Oh,
It's the telephone.
I got to ring twice.
Telephone. Okay,
Okay, don't forget.
pick it up, pick it up.
Ahoy, ahoy.
This is Richard Humphrey.
Hi, Richard Humphrey. Good work. You've already answered the first question required in order to win this fabulous prize. Richard, where are you calling from?
Sellersburg, Indiana.
Okay, well, Richard from Indiana, congratulations. You're the winner of this gorgeous 2.13 inch diagonal tricolor e-ink display. Wow, that's so cool. We're going to send that to you for free, but all you have to do is email support@adafruit.com, SUPPORT@adafruit.com. Say, hey, it's Richard from Indiana. It's really cold where I'm at, and I really need this e-ink display, and they will send it to you. Just tell them it's product number 4086.
4086.
Yes, that makes it
Yeah.
easier. Okay, so what's a project you're working on or you want to work on, Richard?
I want to build a remote controlled antenna tuner for my ham radio.
That's nice. What bands are you using on your ham radio? What are you listening on?
I love 17 meter.
17. That's a lot of meters. Well, what's your call sign? Do you want to give your call sign so people can talk to you? On
N9
17?
DPR.
All right, so anybody out there who's on the 17 meter, point your antenna towards Indiana. He's going to have a remote controlled antenna soon.
With the e-ink display.
With an e-ink display, Richard. Can't wait. Come by on Show and Tell if you ever want to show off your ham rig. I've had a couple people come by, and it's wonderful to see them. They're always really cool, especially if you have a nice ham shack or something. But stay warm. Don't forget to email support@Adafruit to get your free display. And thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Okay. Richard,
that was a trivia question. That was it.
yeah,
It's over.
I know.
We gave it away.
I know. I just did that. To Richard, from Indiana.
Okay,
He's on 17 meters.
well, that's our show for night. Thank
I've
you,
only been on
everybody.
2 meters.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to be on all the meters, but like,
you can if you want.
I know, but I only have a 2 meter radio.
Yeah. That's the show for tonight. Thank you, everybody. Special thanks to all of our Adafruit team members here at Adafruit, all of our remote team members.
You.
The folks in Discord and
Yours.
YouTube and all the different chats. Thank you so much for making this one of the best shows with all this cool stuff, all these new products, all this great community projects and news and more. It's a delight to share this with you. Thank you so much. We'll be here next week. You can keep starring stuff.
Let's get to
Costs nothing.
9:30. We can do it.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week. Stay warm and all that stuff. Be good to each other. Be excellent to one another. Keep sharing cool stuff. Open source hardware and software. It's where it's at.
And more good stuff coming from us this year. This
That's
year
right.
is starting off hot.
We got a lot of interesting things going on, and we will see everybody next week. Don't forget the code is Tricolor. That'll save you a few bucks if you want to purchase something to keep the lights on.
And don't forget to subscribe to AdaBox because we will run
Yeah,
out. We will run out of people.
Yeah, there's Adabox stuff. I'll talk about that more next week too.
Yeah.
'Cause
But get in before it's over because once it's over, we can't open up spots. We can't make exceptions.
can't do it.
Nope.
Okay. Well, that's it for tonight, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Here is your Moan Maziner.
Good night.